Welcome everybody to the final score. I'm your host Nicholas Marcinov, and today we are going to be breaking down our NFL Week 15 predictions. Now, this is a game show where I've challenged all of my buddies to try and predict the NFL season the best. Whoever has the best record at the end of the Super Bowl wins a jersey out of my pocket. I won last season and got myself this pretty sweet Cleveland Browns customized jersey. I love it. Right now, the current standings is my little brother is in first at a record of 129 and 79, followed by myself at 128 and 80, then Chris at 126 and 82, and then Tanner is at 112.96, and DJ is at 107.101. Unfortunately, I am the only one who can make it tonight, so I will just be giving you my NFL Week 15 predictions. But that's not bad because we're going to jump right into it with the Thursday night matchup. It's the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. And what a game this is going to be because you have this Mr. Irrelevant but very relevant quarterback in Brock Purdy going up against the Seattle Seahawks, who were leading the division for the longest time, Geno Smith. This matchup is going to be a big prove it game for Brock Purdy. He got a big win over the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, last week. But can he keep it going against the Seattle Seahawks? Just for his storyline purposes, I'm going to say he does. I think that they are going to handle the Seahawks, or at least the 49ers defense is going to handle the Seattle Seahawks. So let's move on to our next matchup. It is the Indianapolis Colts at Minnesota Vikings. And this is going to be a really interesting game because both of these teams have really great running backs. You have Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, should be a good matchup. But then on the other side of the ball, you have Matt Ryan going up against Kirk Cousins. The Vikings actually play defense, and the Indianapolis Colts, well, they're hurting. Not to mention Jeff Saturday. Despite winning one game against the Raiders, he has been lackluster ever since. So I'm going to definitely go with the Minnesota Vikings in this game. Just to keep it brief, I think the Vikings are the real deal. And what do the Indianapolis Colts have to gain from winning this match? Really nothing. So I think that they'll just gain draft position. Give me the Vikings. Moving on to our next matchup, it's the Baltimore Ravens taking on the division rivals Cleveland Browns, my second favorite team, except for Deshaun Watson. That's bad. Speaking of that, the Browns took on the Bengals and looked, well, bad. Deshaun Watson has not been very accurate. He needs to be able to throw the ball better and utilize his key targets like Amari Cooper. The run game also has to get going, and the defense needs to tighten up. However, the Baltimore Ravens, they lost Lamar Jackson a couple weeks ago, and the backup really was not doing well whenever he came in. And even last week during the Steelers, there were so many times when the Steelers were in Baltimore's end zone, basically saying, please just score a touchdown at us. And the Steelers were just giving it away to them. So I have to go with trends. I think the Ravens kind of got lucky there. And the Browns, well, they want to at least try to show that Deshaun Watson is going to be a good quarterback. And there's rumors that they're going to possibly reevaluate looking at the head coach, Kevin Stefanski. Give me the Browns. I think that they're going to win this matchup. And yeah, I may not like it, but I think the Browns will win. Let's move on to our next matchup between the Miami Dolphins and their division rivals, the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a very. Oh, I'm so sorry. It's 10:50 whenever I'm recording this, and I'm a college student. I have a final tomorrow. I'm tired. Anyways, Miami Dolphins, Buffalo Bills. Miami has my all-time favorite wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. And Jalen Waddle has been okay, hasn't been utilized the last couple of weeks as much as he was earlier in the season. Then you have the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, the defense. Cole Beasley, of all people, is coming out of retirement to go back to the Bills. They got a pretty stacked roster, and the fact that this game is going to be played in the cold, I think that that's going to be the game changer. I think the Bills have just been having a lot of practice. However, I don't want to put anything against the Miami Dolphins. Like they are having a really good season. I just think that in this type of game, it's going to come down to which team can play defense better, and I think the Bills will probably take it. All right, moving on to the next matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears. Well, Philadelphia Eagles, by record itself, are the best team in the league. They are flying higher than everybody with their one loss coming against the Washington Commanders, whereas the Chicago Bears, they've been up and down, up and down, up and down. And so this game, on paper, screams trap match for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to be looking at the Chicago Bears saying this is going to be easy pickings. But the wild card in this matchup by far is Justin Fields. He has gone off. He has carried this team. Will he be able to do that against the Philadelphia Eagles? I'm going to say no. I think the Philadelphia Eagles will find a way, but I wouldn't be surprised if the final score ended up being something like 27-24 Chicago Bears, just to make things a little spicy. Speaking of spicy, let's talk about the Detroit Lions at New York Jets. The Detroit Lions are by far the most exciting team in the league. They are the lovable losers who are having a truly underdog season. They were going in the wrong direction at the start of the season, barely anything to show for all of their efforts to winning the last, I think, 5 out of 6 or 6 of 7. They have looked tremendous. Jared Goff, they have said, is their quarterback. He's their guy. Man, they are just doing everything right now. The New York Jets, well, they have a quarterback controversy. Zach Wilson is not their starting quarterback. It's probably going to be Joe Flacco since Mike White did get hurt. And the New York Jets also play defense. Now, if the Lions win this match, it's going to be tougher on them because they have to go up against the New York Jets defense. Whereas the Lions defense, which has not really been good all season, will have to take on Joe Flacco. I'm going with a spicy pick. Give me the Detroit Lions, man. Give me the Detroit Lions. I really hope that they are able to do something against the New York Jets. Okay, moving on to the next matchup. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Carolina Panthers. Carolina looked great last week in their matchup against the Seattle Seahawks, whereas the Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said earlier, they were just in the Ravens' red zone so many times and they couldn't get it done. Mitchell Trubisky ended up throwing like 3 interceptions, I believe, in that matchup. They lost Kenny Pickett. It's not a good matchup. And Carolina Panthers, as a Saints fan, I actually want them to do well. Out of all of the division rivals, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I I like to root for Carolina. They're my favorite division rival. They're the matchup I love to see of the Saints more. So just purely by that bias, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. And Mateo, if you are watching this for some reason, I'm sorry, man. I also just think that they are probably going to win. They showed that they can be a little spicy. So give me the Panthers. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. It is the Kansas City Chiefs at Houston Texans. I'll keep it short and sweet. The Kansas City Chiefs are going to mop the floor with the Houston Texans. Sorry, guys, but you're going to, you're just going to lose. Patrick Mahomes is going to have a field day. He probably gets benched by the third quarter. Okay, moving on. It is the Atlanta Falcons at New Orleans Saints. So this matchup is interesting because Marcus Mariota is not going to be the starting quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, which I would say is bad. Like, you should have Marcus Mariota putting yourself in the best position to win. However, they're going to start their rookie QB to see what he has. Going up against New Orleans Saints, who Dennis Allen just needs to be fired. Andy Dalton is going to be the quarterback. They're trying to prove something. I don't know what they're trying to prove at this point. Just tank. The Philadelphia Eagles already have our first round pick. Just tank. I hate Dennis Allen. But if the Saints lose this matchup, oh, you have to get rid of him. There's no way they'll keep him after losing to the Atlanta Falcons at home of all places. Give me the New Orleans Saints, reluctantly. Okay, moving on to the Dallas Cowboys at Jacksonville Jaguars. This is actually a game I'm kind of interested in seeing. The Dallas Cowboys they played down to their competition in the Houston Texans. Houston really brought it to them before they shot themselves in the foot and slowly passed over and died. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they rose up against the Tennessee Titans and defeated them in great fashion. They looked really great. Trevor Lawrence put the team on his back and showed, or rather gave a preview of what we can expect in the next couple of seasons. I'm truly excited for what Trevor Lawrence is going to do. But in this matchup, I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence, you guys got a good speed going. However, the Dallas Cowboys are just on a mission. I forgot to grab my Dallas Cowboys logo, but I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, Jacksonville. All right, let's move on to the Arizona Cardinals at the Denver Broncos. First and foremost, Kyler Murray, he suffered an ACL tear. He's out for the rest of the season. It's going to be Colt McCoy who's going to be quarterbacking for Arizona. They're going up against arguably the best defense in the league this season in the Denver Broncos. However, the offense has not been good. And if Russell Wilson is still in concussion protocol, their backup will be playing. I trust the Denver's backup QB more than I trust Russell Wilson. I keep saying that he had the same hand injury that Drew Brees had. And we all saw what happened to Drew Brees whenever he came back in 2019 and 2020. He was not the same passer. I think the same thing is happening to Russell Wilson. He still has arm strength, but it's not quite the same. And so I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos in this matchup. And it's very rare that I pick the Denver Broncos on this show. I really don't like the team. They're going to be last place in their division, but I think that they will probably eke out a win against the Arizona Cardinals. Moving on to the New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. Speaking of another AFC West team in the Las Vegas Raiders, man, they are straight up bootios, losing to Baker Mayfield last seconds of the game. They basically recreated the New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay Buccaneers game that just aired 4 days prior, 3 days prior, whatever you want to say. But Baker Mayfield, he came out and he didn't look good for 3 quarters. It wasn't until the very end that he actually led the team to a win. So let's not take away the win, but let's just remember he was bad. He was very, very bad. And then the Raiders, you guys blew the game. It was terrible. New England Patriots, well, you took care of business against Arizona last week. You should have taken care of business whenever they brought out Colt McCoy, backup QB, but you still took care of business. However, there's some difficulties on the sidelines between Matt Patricia and Mac Jones. They need to work something out, communicate a little bit better. But I think that they will probably be on the same page in this game. Give me the New England Patriots to beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Sorry, DJ. Also, not sorry because I'm just trying to win a jersey here. Moving on to the next matchup, it is the Tennessee Titans at LA Chargers. Tennessee Titans have not been looking good. I think they're on a 3-game losing streak. That's not great. You have King Henry, and he's not the same. Ever since his injury last season, he has not been the same guy this season. And then also, who are you throwing it to? You fire the GM after the Philadelphia Eagles lit you up with AJ Brown. How embarrassing. And then LA Chargers, yeah, you guys beat the Miami Dolphins. Good job. But I still have question marks around your entire team. Like, you guys should be so much better than you are. You should be neck and neck with the Kansas City Chiefs, and yet you're not. The Chiefs are just blowing the division out of the water like they do every single season. And it's frustrating because you guys are actually a good team. It's frustrating, man. But I'm going with the LA Chargers in this matchup. Oh, that's a classroom. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Chargers, but I I I won't put it past Tennessee. I think Tennessee could upset Cincinnati Bengals at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In this matchup, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are being led by Ted Bowles. When are we going to admit that not only is Tom Brady not looking good, right? Yeah, he's not looking good. He went into retirement, came out of retirement, looked all right, but it's not looking great. When are we also going to admit that Todd Bowles still looks like the Todd Bowles from the New York Jets? Like, this is a real issue too, is he's not great, and Tom Brady kind of needs help around him. Real team player guy. Whereas the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, I hate Zach Taylor. I think he's a terrible head coach. But Joe Burrow, just give the ball in his hands. He'll find Jamar Chase. They'll light it up. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at home. But I'm hoping that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can put up a little bit of a better fight. Okay. And I'm just now realizing that I'm missing a couple more of my logos. So we are just going to have to make do without them at this point. Nope, never mind. Okay. Moving on to our Sunday night matchup. It's the New York Giants against the Washington Commanders. And in this game, well, last time they played, they tied. That was a very rare occurrence. And I don't know. The Washington Commanders have been riding a high ever since they defeated the Philadelphia Eagles. However, the New York Giants, they've been trending in the opposite direction. They've been going down. They've been struggling as of late. They got just mauled by the Philadelphia Eagles. And I I think that this is going to be a game where Washington has been all the way up here for a long time, and the New York Giants have been all the way down here for a long time. That the tides are going to change. I'm going with the New York Giants in this matchup. Could have said another tie, but hey, I'll go with the Giants. I think that the tides are going to change at least for one game. Give me the Giants to eke one out. All right, and now our Monday night matchup. It is the LA Rams taking on the Green Bay Packers. Baker Mayfield has had 11 days to just kind of like study the playbook a little bit to learn the Rams offense before they head up to Green Bay and take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. This matchup, I don't know what to really expect. It's going to be insane. You have Aaron Rodgers, who only has a rookie wide receiver who just catches touchdowns. And then you have Baker Mayfield basically just trying to carry on a husk of what the LA Rams were last season. I really don't know what to do in this matchup, but my gut, I have to go with my gut and just say that Green Bay Packers are going to humble Baker Mayfield. Yeah, they escaped with one last week, but I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. Okay. Well, that's the show, you guys. That's all 16 games for NFL Week 15. It's been exciting. What a season. This is my last episode that I'm in school for. So starting next week, we should be able to do a little bit more. Should have a little bit more of the guys on the show also. I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Really means a lot to me that you guys watch the show every week. Even if you don't get to this part, I do thank you for just watching even a little bit. Um, and so, yeah, just thank you guys so much. I love doing this. And that's the final score. Thank you and good night.